Okay, well, today is planting day. It's April the 3rd. I like to start planting around the 1st of April in the field. That's kind of my target date. So didn't work out to start right on the 1st, but today's the 3rd. So we're gonna start with tomatoes today in the field. I'm gonna show you kind of what some of these transplants look like, and we'll go from there. Okay, these are cantaloupes. I just got through watering them. Probably gonna move them out today outside on the trailer, and then maybe start planting them tomorrow. These are watermelon transplants, red watermelons, and probably start on these in a few days once we get the tomatoes and the cantaloupes planted. These are some of the yellow watermelons on the first plant, and they're not ready yet, but kind of give you an idea of what they look like. As soon as we get these planted in the field, then we'll have to come back and get the second planting planted in the greenhouse as soon as possible. We've got a lot of trays already ready, stacked up. Got the holes in them, ready to go as soon as we get a chance. Once we get through planting, this may be raining some next week, so that'll give us an opportunity to get in here and get some of these planted. These are my second tomatoes. They'll be planted maybe in about 3 weeks. Okay, we got tomatoes in the ground. We plant 2 plantings of tomatoes, and this is going to be the first planting. We'll get it done today. It's a little windy today, but the plants are not too big. I like them, you know, about this size so they don't get wind blown kind of before they get established. We punched the holes yesterday, so the guys are just going back and dropping the plants in the hole and squeezing the dirt around them and covering them up. We plant them 18 inches apart, and we'll come back and plant another planting maybe in about towards the end of April. Once again, this is April the 3rd. While the guys are getting the tomatoes planted today, I'm re-hipping maybe my first maybe 4 plantings of peas and my last sweet corn. The beds have kind of been beat down from the rain. I mean, it's sandy ground, so it's dry enough for me to do it. So I'm going to freshen those beds up and set them back up, get them a little taller while it's dry, while I have a chance. Okay, gonna give you an update on the sweet corn too. Till it's a few inches tall, and it looks like we got a good stand. Usually that first sweet corn planting, sometimes the stand is not as great, but it doesn't look too bad. It's probably a little hard to tell on the video. Got the second planting planted yesterday, about 3 weeks apart from the first corn. And then I just re-hipped the third corn over there. We'll plant it in about 2 weeks probably. Okay, we got the 24-inch wheel. Punching the holes in the plastic for the watermelons. We've got different size wheels, you know, for different things that we're planting. The 24-inch spacing wheel we use for the red watermelons on the plastic. I've got a 36-inch wheel that we use for the yellows on the plastic, and 18-inch wheel for the cantaloupes and tomatoes, eggplant, squash. We do some hand hole punching on the plastic for 12-inch and 9-inch spacing on some of the peppers. And we also use the wheel later on in the season when we're transplanting on bare ground, like okra and late watermelons. We use the 24 and 36-inch wheel there. So you can take those wheels off, you know, and change them out pretty easy. Okay, today we're planting the cantaloupes, getting them planted. Once again, they're on 18-inch centers. We've got the holes punched. The guys are just going along, dropping the plants in, covering the dirt up. Still got good moisture under here. You know, it was a lot of moisture whenever we laid the plastic, but with the holes punched, the little plants, the wind blowing, we'll probably kick the water on tomorrow on the cantaloupes and the tomatoes. And then as soon as we get through planting the watermelons, we'll turn the water on there. All right, it's after lunch and we're gonna bring all the watermelon transplants, the red ones, outside, put them on a trailer, let them sit out today and overnight, and we'll start planting them in the morning. I'm going to switch gears a little bit too and go down to the peach orchard and cut the grass in the middles. It's best if you can leave your transplants outside for several days at least to kind of harden them up, to taking them from the you know, the environment of the greenhouse to outside, especially on your earlier plantings where the temperature is different, you know, outside, especially at night. Now we're kind of running up against the deadline of some pretty heavy rain in the next maybe 4 days, so I'm trying to get everything planted on the first round, which means that I can't leave my plants outside for very long because they weren't ready yet. And so I left my cantaloupes outside for one night. Really probably should have been several because they get kind of droopy a little bit when they hit that cool morning. And then same with the watermelons. The watermelons are a little more tougher though. The cantaloupes are pretty I don't know what the word is, maybe not as hardy as far as toughness on the transplant. I had the tomatoes out for several days so that they're fine. So anyway, that's just a little tidbit. You want to kind of let your transplants harden up and get used to the environment as much as possible. Later on in the season, when the nighttime temperature is really no different than the inside temperature of the greenhouse, then to me it really doesn't make that much of a difference as far as hardening them up. You can pretty much just take them straight out of the greenhouse. All right, while we're cutting the grass and the peaches, I got out. We're gonna look at the trees, and it's just about time to start thinning. You can see that these are about the size of less than a quarter. You know, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 peaches right here in a space where you need 2. You know, there's some varieties that are a little bit behind, which is good because it takes us a while to do them, so we start on the ones that are furthest along. This has still got some flowers, but you can see right on the end of my thumb there is that little peach sticking through. All right, fast forward to the next day. We had a little mechanical trouble on the cutter. That's kind of why I had to abruptly quit there, and I didn't get any video of cutting the grass, but all it is cutting the grass between the peach trees. But we got the cutter fixed. So Friday is today. The guys started planting watermelons today. I'm hoping they can get through tomorrow. If not, Monday morning. We've got pretty big rains from Monday night until Wednesday. Talking like we could get several inches. Hopefully not any severe weather, that's a possibility. So I am on the hipper, trying to get all of my late stuff hipped up before it rains. We had all these cover crops. I don't think I even got that on the video. I plowed that up about a month ago, let it sit, let it rain on a bunch. Ran the field cultivator over it, and it melted perfectly. You know, there's broke up real good because I let it sit. You know, when I was working on that plastic field, I was trying to do it in kind of a hurry, and that's what gave me trouble. But anyway, I'm hipping today, and this will be my late peas, my sweet potatoes, and my late watermelons. Alright, as you can tell, everything is really nice and smooth up ahead of me. All that old debris from the cover crop is, you know, plowed in and not in big pieces, and it worked out really nice. This is where I've already been, setting up 8 rows at a time. I was kind of debating whether to plant my first purple hull peas, but I think it's just a little bit too early. I would love to have it done before it gets a big rain, but I don't like things to get ready too early. You know, in an ideal world, everything we plant would kind of all be ready at the same time. That's when we open up to the public and start selling. We are going to go ahead and start thinning the peaches on Monday. Got some people to help with that. That takes a while depending on how much help I have. The weather doesn't look too good next week either, but we'll just have to take it a day at a time. But it's time to start. You saw a little bit of that on the video earlier. So that's the plan on that too, is to start Monday. Alright, well, we knocked that out. Did about 40 acres this morning. Another reason that I like to have these rows set up so far in advance is
one thing, when I'm spraying it, keeping it clean, I've got my rows to go by, and also, you know, we take a big field and divide it up into smaller blocks, so when I'm putting out my fertilizer, I can kind of keep everything separate, because I don't necessarily fertilize, you know, everything the same. So that's another advantage, or another reason why I set these rows up so far ahead of time. You know, I could wait and do it right before, but you know, you never know how wet it is, what else is going on. You know, it's just one less thing I have to do, so got it knocked out today. All right, here's what the red watermelon transplants look like. It's Saturday morning. I don't think we're gonna get through today. Got the water on. We watered the tomatoes and the cantaloupes yesterday. Water the watermelons today. You know, you just want to make sure they've got enough water right around those roots until they get established. There's plenty of moisture under the bed, but I still like to water them good a couple of times and try to get that water there right to the middle. And plus, if it rains next week, that'll put water right down in the top of the hole. Once the roots gets established, and they'll be off and running. Okay, it's Monday morning, and we are finishing up what we're trying to do here this morning. This will be the last 2 rows we're going to do now. We're not going all the way. We're going to stop a little bit less than halfway to where the irrigation line goes across the middle of the field on the other side of the truck down there. We're going to stop there. That'll be about half, which will be half the first planting of the red watermelons, which is in total for the season is about a quarter. We do about 25% of our watermelons on our first plastic planting, the other 25% on the second plastic planting, and the last 50% will be transplanted on bare ground. That's what we'll do around Memorial Day. Looks like we are going to get through before the big weather event gets here. The weathermen are talking it up pretty big, so hopefully it won't be too bad. I'm usually more concerned about the wind and hail damage than I am the rain, at least early in the season, but I think we're definitely going to get a lot of rain. So we'll keep you informed. Hopefully the little transplants will survive. We got the solar eclipse coming in about 2 hours, and you can see behind me, it's pretty cloudy. We will see what the weather does, and we'll be back out here as soon as it's over. We'll have some different things to show you on the next video. We're going to finish staking the tomatoes. We've done a little bit. We're thinning the peaches, started today. We'll do some spraying. We're going to be working in the greenhouse some more and getting the peas planted, hopefully. So lots coming up. Well, update about 3 hours later. I had my glasses and they worked perfect. Sun came out just enough and was able to see the eclipse. So we were in the 98-point-something% blockage of the sun, so it was pretty interesting. So I was glad it got to see it, and hopefully a lot of people around our area got to see it too. Anyway, we are going to wrap up the video there, and I hope y'all will subscribe if you are not already. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we would appreciate it if you'd do that, and we will see y'all next time. Thanks.